The lead singer from Freezepop is on the phone with us now, Liz Enthusiasm.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome. And take us back to the very beginning of Freezepop and how the whole act got started.
Okay. Well, this was way back in 99. You know, we're coming up on our 9-year anniversary. The Duke had this little box called the Yamaha QI70. His friend introduced him to, and he was like, this is great. I want to start a band that just uses this box. And, you know, he thought it was perfect for, you know, goofy synth pop songs. So he knew he wanted a female vocalist, and so kind of asked around, and a mutual friend introduced us. And Sean also kind of joined up because, you know, he and the Duke knew each other from the Boston music scene. And, you know, things kind of took off.
Well, you know, the interesting thing is, you know, I think most people, when they think of the Boston music scene, they think back to the early 90s, and they think of the Lemonheads and Juliana Hatfield. And it was sort of surprising to hear synth pop coming out of Boston.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we were, you know, at that time, the late 90s, Boston was a very rock-oriented town. And we were definitely, you know, I think pretty much one of the only bands doing anything electronic at the time. It was definitely, you know, when we would play our shows, we'd just get put on weird, actually we got put on a lot of goth bills because, like, you know, the clubs didn't really know who else to book us with.
Right.
But it's sort of gotten better and better for electronic music over the past, you know, several years. So there's, you know, there's more good stuff coming out of town now. There's really been sort of a steady momentum all the way through. I mean, you know, definitely when Guitar Hero hit, that was a big jump, and when Guitar Hero 2 hit, that was another big jump. But there's just been a lot of things kind of keeping it going all along.
Well, the question I have for you, and it's something that, you know, maybe a lot of people wonder, when you were growing up and getting into music, were you listening to, you know, synth-based music and electronica at the time? Was that something you were into?
Absolutely.
So child
you know,
of the
Duran
80s.
Duran, Depeche Mode, all that good stuff, New Order. And, you know, and the great thing is we're still discovering stuff from back then, too. It's, you know, like, over the years we've sort of gotten into the more obscure stuff. And, you know, like, we're still finding some, you know, buried treasures every now and again. You know,
your latest album, which I always mispronounce, Future Perfect. Have I got it wrong again?
Future Perfect.
That's it. Three futures. Right.
We were working on it for a very long time.
Right.
Basically, after the last album, we did some touring, and then we needed to sort of not exactly take time off, but just take things really slowly. Just sort of, you know, our lives got busy and work got busy, and so we're sort of like, it wasn't exactly on the back burner, but we were definitely not, you know, playing many shows. You know, we were writing songs, but it was pretty slow going. Sometime last year, I don't know, sometime in there, we got approached by Cordless, this label, who were interested in putting something out, and we started talking to them. And, you know, that we sort of saw that as kind of a big step in some direction, just because we'd always been self-released up to that point.
Right.
But honestly, we sort of felt like we'd taken it as far as we could by ourselves, and you know, some things are best left to the professionals. We're finding out. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely, that aspect of it has been a relief, not having to do all of that stuff by ourselves, and, you know, helps us concentrate on actually, you know, making the music and playing the shows, and, you know, the things that we should be focusing on.
Are you writing stuff now? Are you putting things together for the next? I know this only
we
came out
are
in September.
Actually just starting to get back into songwriting mode now. We were, you know, we've been touring a whole bunch, and that, you know, when that happens, that takes up enough of your time that at least I can't really focus on, you know, like the playing shows end of things and also the writing new stuff. So, you know, for me, at least, it's kind of an either-or situation. So now that I'm actually going to be at home for a couple months, you know, I can start getting back into, you know, coming up with some new stuff.
Now, I have to ask you this about this sort of strange incident that happened in Canada. Is that something you can talk about?
Well, yeah, basically what happened is we were going to play a show, and, you know, we didn't have a work visa or anything like that. So when we got to the border crossing, we're like, oh, yeah, we're going to this video game convention. which was, true, but
Right.
we didn't say that, we were going to play it and stuff. And I guess it was just a slow day at the border crossing, and they were like, okay, just, pull in and, we'll have a look at your stuff. And we're like, oh, okay. And so they asked us a bunch of questions about, what we did for a living, like where we were born and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And then they searched our car and found, all of our gear and all of our CDs. And we're like, oh, no, this is bad.
Busted.
We were totally busted, yeah. So they made us sit out in this lobby, and we're like, okay, what do we do now? And we just sat there, like, forever. And then they sort of called us into this back room one by one, and we're like, we just thought they were going to question us more. And then they actually brought us into cells, and we're like, oh, dear.
Oh, man.
It's kind of scary, because, like, I've never gotten arrested, let alone in a foreign country. It's kind of major.
Yeah, so in actual fact, I'm speaking to an ex-con.
Exactly, yeah. And it was one of these things where, like, you get to make the call to the lawyer, and they, like, let us call the U.S. consulate, and it was, so they called us all in, and they're like, you guys are really lucky, and you should never lie to customs again, and we're like, okay. And I was actually really surprised, because then they let us into the country after that. Like, I just thought they were going to be like, go back, go on your way, But yeah, basically, so the end result was we just had to pay import taxes on all the CDs that we were bringing over, and that was that.
Well, this is good for your image, though.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We've got so many badass cred points that it was ridiculous.
Exactly. Your tracks are available, I mean, I guess if you go to Amazon or something.
Oh, yeah, it's on, Amazon, iTunes, all that stuff. I mean, we do sell, as much digitally as we do sell, actual CDs, But I mean, a lot of people don't even buy the music, digitally either. It's just how it is these days.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if you're going to steal the music, at least buy a T-shirt. That's our policy.
Some shows coming up in the any shows in our area, in the New York or New Jersey area?
Oh, yes, actually. Let me see. At the end of June, we're playing in New York at the Annex.
Okay.
And we are playing in New Jersey at some convention I can't remember the name of right now. But it's all on our website. Okay. So you can go check it out, freezepop.net.
That was my next leading question. Freezepop.net, we can find out everything about what the band's up to, and also your MySpace page as well, which is myspace.com/freezepop. Freezepop, yeah.
Very easy. Yep, yeah, and all the show info is on there, and yeah, so.
And let me ask you, you've had more songs in games, right? Not just Guitar Hero, haven't you had?
Oh yeah, we have. I mean, the most recent one has been Rock Band. We have our song Brain Powers in Rock Band.
Now let me ask you, how are you on Guitar Hero? You any good?
Oh, I'm really not good.
I'm terrible.
No, I'm so not good.
I had a friend, I forget what song it was. It was like this really easy song, and I just got frustrated and threw that little plastic guitar across the floor. I said, "Oh, forget it! I can't do it." Mm-hmm. But the world's completely enamored with it. Before I let you go, I want to get the story behind Liz Enthusiasm. Mm-hmm. Where did this moniker come about? And for the rest of the band too.
Well, basically, Sean came up with this huge list of stupid names, and that one was called out to me. It was either that or the runner-up was Crisco Disco Marie, but.
Oh, I kind of like that. But then again, that's a brand name, and you might get in trouble for that. All right, thanks, Liz. This is great.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.